Hi there, and welcome to round 4 of the FIDE World Cup busy being played in Baku at the moment, and we're on the Monday the 21st of September 2015, and we're taking a closer look at the game between Wesley So with the white pieces and Maxime Vachier Lagrave with the black pieces. The first game of the two-game match from round 4 of the World Cup between these two players ended in a draw, so obviously with the white pieces the advantage swung towards the American Wesley So because he was having the white pieces for the second game. But don't for a moment think that Vachier Lagrave will be giving up the game without a fight. So without further ado, let's have a look at how the opening played out, which took a roundabout way to get to a symmetrical English type of pawn formation, as you can see developing here at the moment. The first of the positions that I'm going to be taking a closer look at is what happened after black played his 21st move of bishop d7. If you look here, white, Wesley So in this position has a bit of a bind. His structure, his pawn structure is obviously slightly better, and he generally has good positioning of his pieces. But what he severely underestimates is the activity that the black pieces enjoy. The black pieces are far more active and have taken up far more attacking positions than the white pieces have. The game continues with bishop d5, knight e5, and perhaps in his analysis So missed this possible combination, which is the weird thing about this position is that there is absolutely no ways that he could save the piece. For instance, after bishop d5, knight takes e3, f takes e3, bishop takes b5, bishop takes b7. So, I mean, the piece is effectively sunk. So, Vachier Lagrave played knight e5, followed by rook e4, knight g6, bishop takes f7 check. This is most certainly the best option in this position, and the game continued with king takes f7, knight d6, king g8, knight takes b7, bishop c6, which is an important resource. Otherwise, white would be standing considerably better in the position. We continue with rook d4, rook takes d4, knight takes a5, rook d6, knight takes e6, rook takes 6, and then unfortunately for Wesley So in this position, his downer piece, his three pawns don't exactly compensate, and it will be quite a bit of suffering. Though with perfect play, I suppose a draw may very well be possible. But what you've got here is with the knight and rook versus rook, and the fact that two of black pawns are sitting in really isolated positions here, eventually black should be able to pick off the excess pawns, the excess isolated pawns by utilizing its extra piece, and be able to send his b pawn straight through to the queening square. That's probably the ideal that Vachier Lagrave would be looking for. But as I said, with perfect play, the position is still looking decidedly drawish. And the game continued with a4, knight, rook takes c3, a5, b takes a5, rook takes a5, rook c1 check, king h2, rook c2, king g3, knight f8, h4, knight d7, king f3, king h7, rook f5, knight c5, g4, knight d3, king g3, g6, rook f7 check, king g8, rook f6, king g7, g5. Now, it's really hard to say where exactly it was that white went wrong, but it could very well have been this move. Because say for instance, if instead he played rook a6 with rook c7, rook d6, or for instance rook a6, knight f2 with rook a7, king f6, rook a6, king e5, rook g6, knight e4, king h3, rook e2, rook h6, rook e3, king g2, king f4, rook h7, rook e2 check, and king h3, the position should still be able to be held, because white still got the 2 pawns versus the knight that black has. And although it really looks scary, there's no clear way to be able to see how white's able to win in this position. But getting back to the position in hand, white played g5, and from this position, slowly but surely, black grinds white's position down, picks off the excess pawns, and finishes with a clear and decisive advantage. And here again, take a look at how the moves of the game play out and the patterns that are forming across the board. And you'll be well advised to maintain a memory of not so much the exact moves that are being played, but of how the patterns that the pieces form over the course of this endgame sequence. And we'll continue with h5, f3, knight e1, e4, rook c3, king f2, knight d3, king g3, knight e5, king g2, rook c6, rook takes c6, knight takes f4, king f7, king f3, king e6, king e3. As you can see, the rooks are now off the board, and it's now basically the knight versus the extra pawns that white has. So obviously black is going to be wanting to get himself into a position where he can achieve the opposition with the kings and utilize the knight to pick off the excess pawns. King d6, king d2, king c5, king d3, king b4, king d2, king c4, king e3, king c5, and there black picks up the opposition. As you can see, the last move has placed the black king in direct opposition to the white king, which is what black was looking at achieving through this entire king maneuver. And we continue with king d3, knight d8, king e3, knight f7, king d3, knight d6, king e3. As I mentioned, with having achieved the opposition, black is then able to bring his knight into a better position to be able to slowly but surely pick off the white pawns. You got king c4, f5 for white, knight e8, f takes g6, knight g7, e5, king d5, king f4, king d4, e6, king d5, e7, king e6, and there's absolutely no ways that the white king can get to be able to defend the pawn on e7, so that pawn will be falling, and shortly thereafter the pawn on g6 will be falling as well. King e4, king takes e7, king e5, king e8, king d5, king d7, and as I mentioned earlier, once again, black achieves the opposition. The G6 pawn will be falling, and by utilizing the knight shortly after the G6 pawn will be falling, that will be followed by the H4 pawn falling, which leaves that poor lonesome G5 pawn in complete and total isolation, which will be falling shortly thereafter, utilizing the knight in clear and careful maneuvering. And for that reason, in this position, Wesley So not only resigned the game, but resigned the match against Maxime Vachier Lagrave. Wesley So heads home to the USA, and Maxime Vachier Lagrave heads through to round 5 of the FIDE World Cup in Baku without needing to sweat his way through the tie-break system of rapid and blitz games. So that, my friends, is how the game was won. Please share this out amongst your chess friends. Click the thumbs up button if you like this type of content. Thumbs down if not, that way I know what to be putting out in the future. And last but by no means least, when you're watching this video on the YouTube channel, down below you'll be seeing a big red subscribe button. Click that subscribe button, that way you stay subscribed to my channel for all of the new content that comes out on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. Stay carved up for the win, stay safe out there. I'll be seeing you next time for another episode of How the Game Was Won. Until that time, cheers.